Oh, so Discord doesn't seem to be having a good day. Discord, upon like a couple, I guess, like weeks of bad press, deservedly bad press for the record, seems to be in hot water again as the front end for Persona, the face tracking app that they were using, or face tracking integration that they were using. It basically was leaked, dude. They leaked it. They leaked it. It was by an org called VM Funk. My understanding is that they are security research, which apparently did some kind of legal type of like investigation, basically discovering that the front end of the app was open, and so they could see the publicly accessible files, which revealed extensive surveillance on the Persona program on its users. And so some of the things that they were able to determine is what like kind of security checks were being made. And so this is it was 269 distinct verification checks, facial recognition against watch list politically exposed persons, it screens adverse media across 14 categories, including terrorism and espionage. So I guess like if you're one of those people that does like the 9/11 memes or whatever it is, I guess I don't know. I don't know what it is. Is all I know is that it screened you across 14 different categories of it, and so it would assign a risk and similarity scores. It uses AI, I think, I guess, to do that. Persona collects and retains up to 3 years, and I think they lied about the amount of time that they were keeping it. I think they said they would keep it for 7 days. Either way, 3 years, IP addresses, browser, device fingerprints, government ID numbers, phone numbers, no names, faces, plus a battery of selfie analytics like suspicious entity detection, pose repeat detection, and age inconsistency check. So I guess if it asks you one time and then asks you again, it'll like be able to determine whether or not you were lying before or use the fake. Dude, this is wild to me. Like in all sorts of ways, this is wild to me because number one, Discord has already had a leak. I think didn't they like lose like it was something ridiculous, like 70,000 like Discord IDs were leaked, like profiles, accounts, like all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, they decide that they're going to implement a facial recognition software to determine the age of their users. And then it turns out that the literal company that they hired for security, which by the way, my understanding is that they are Peter Thiel backed. Peter Thiel is the owner of Palantir. That's said somewhere in here. But either way, where did I have that? Can't find. Oh, right here. Yeah, venture capital firm owned by Peter Thiel. It's expected to be around $2 billion worth of company, and so essentially that is the software they were attempting to use. And yeah, and so essentially what you need to know is that this is not an old thing coming. This was all discovered via this group right here. They are a security researching group, and they were able to determine. Oh my god, what a website! What is that cat following my mouse?
NCPD-Akte geschlossen.
Okay, pausing that. And so what they were able to determine was that this was being run on a Google Cloud in Kansas City. Now, Kansas City is set to get another data center coming soon. This is a $10 billion, 500-acre data center that is coming to Kansas City as part of a project called Project Mika. And I think this is the second one that will be opening in Kansas City. Yes, second data center development in Northland. Maybe not a second Google data center, but second data center that's coming there. So we have a little bit of information here on Project Mika and what that is. Project Mika is set for a development in Kansas City's Northland, and it is supposed to draw around 700 megawatts of power, and it is authorized $10 billion in taxable revenue to finance the project. So that means that in taxable revenue bonds, and so I guess it's bonds that the government has distributed that people can buy or purchase whatever to support this kind of project. And apparently this is supposed to help. Yeah, they are supposed to contribute about $1.5 million to the school district that's local to the location. And what is this? And also a $250,000 to the Northland Career Center. Here's what I'll say about stuff like this, because I have a lot of opinions. $10 billion for $1.5 million to the Smithville School District is literally pennies. It's pennies. It's the difference between $1 billion and $1 million is roughly about $1 billion. And so the difference between $10 billion and $1.5 million is roughly about $10 billion, watered down even more. And so this is also expected to bring about, I think it's like 50 jobs is what they say. Yeah, like it's supposed to bring like 50 high-paying jobs to the location. Mind you, this is a $100 billion project, $100 billion project, supposed to bring 50 Dude, this is wild to me. Like for $100 billion, you could just hire all of Kansas. Kansas is like even like a special city because Kansas has a 15% poverty rate and a $70,000 median household income. That means that if you were to look at this, they're bringing 50 high-paying jobs that are over $100,000. Really is drops in the bucket. It really does not matter at all. And so these are the senators for Kansas City is Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt. I think Josh Hawley recently introduced a bill to ban stock trading. So I don't know what if this is like tied in with the stock market or whatever it is. All I do know is that the median household income being almost 70 grand, the poverty rate being 15%, and $227,000 in median property value. Kansas seems to be a very unaffordable city, or sorry, Kansas City seems to be an unaffordable city, with Missouri being the city that states Kansas City actually is in. And so this is what is being explored. This is the Northland site development discussion. So people, I think, can go talk about it. Like if they live locally, it's supposed to be 600,000 square feet of development, 900 to million to $1.1 billion in total investment, and then 60 to 90 permanent full-time jobs, around 250 to 350 construction jobs. So these will leave when the production is finished. And then 1 million gallons per day of water capacity. Brother, where even is fucking Missouri? Wait. Missouri location. Wait. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Where is Missouri? Like that's not a place that they have access to water like that. Like they have a river, I know, but like they don't have. That's the center of the country. My guess is that it's not really easy to bring water there. I mean, the lakes and the rivers are there, of course, but I don't think that it's that easy. So, but apparently this is a $100 billion data center development project that is expected to drive about 50 high-paying jobs. I really don't understand things like this. To me, $100 billion is like $100 billion. And if your job was to bring, employment to a severely underfunded state, I don't know if I would consider data centers to be the goal that, I would have. And so this is another chart on the income of Missouri, specifically Kansas City, about the income distribution. So it seems to be pretty even, like across the board, with 10,000 being a pretty big chunk, and then 20,000 being a pretty big chunk, it seems. 30,000 being a pretty big chunk, 60,000 a pretty big chunk, 40,000 a pretty big chunk, and wow, dude, that's wild. And with this data, center project expecting to cross the threshold of $100 billion in funding just for the median income, which is once again 70K, to introduce around 50 jobs that are expected to make over 100K. So I guess good luck to them. But I guess back to the topic. Yeah, Persona, which was Discord's face tracking technique that they were using. The company was providing the software, seems to be using some kind of like AI. It was leaked. They were using some kind of AI thing in conjunction with like state databases to perform like terrorism checks and espionage checks on Discord. Which once again, Discord is like a gaming app, is my understanding. I understand weird things happen on Discord. Don't get me wrong. I've been on Discord myself, but it seems to be another attack on the children in order to basically determine whether or not what they say involves terrorism or espionage. And so this seems to be another crackdown on pro-Palestinian and maybe like anti-war, maybe like pro-Cuba citizens and, children, essentially children. And instead of, I think it was the 7 days that they said they were going to keep this data up to, it seems to be that they're keeping this for up to 3 years, with IP addresses, browser and device fingerprints, government ID numbers and phone numbers and names and faces and a battery of selfie analytics. So like determining whether it's the same person. So your brother can't screen for you is what I'm expecting this to mean. And all that kind of stuff. Again, on the heels of Discord's horrifying press, I think Discord, from what I understand, seems to be having this like massive like outflow of people towards apps like, I think it's Flutter or Fluxer is one of them. And then there's another one called Stout, Stoat. And then another one, like if we go to alternatives too, they have a pretty good site on this kind of thing if you are looking for alternatives. And so Discord seems to be what a lot of people are looking for currently. Element is one of them. Mumble, Stout Chat, Signal, Telegram, TeamSpeak, Zulip, Matrix. Matrix is, I think, the language they use or whatever it is. And these seem to be some of the alternatives people are using. Mattermost. I've seen some others like Rocket Chat and Fluxer. But these are the, alternatives, I guess, if people want to know them. Good luck to Discord, man. It's hard to keep up this good press these days, I guess.